Dear Doctor, this is a Star Trek Enterprise Season 1 episode. Main character of this one, of course, is Dr. Phlox, who is, him and Bones are my two favorite doctors in Star Trek. I do like the holographic doctor. He's pretty neat. And I actually kind of do like Bashir, but for doctoring, like I like Bashir as a fun character, but like for a doctor to be the doctor and have a cool character, Phlox is definitely up there with Bones. In some episodes, I think he's better. If you go episode to episode, I'd have to like rank them. It's like, well, I thought he was better than Bones in this one, or I thought Bones was better here, but it's very close. The storyline here, this is a special episode. I'm going to use my space system. So story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category will get a score between 0 and 2. 2 is the best you can get. You're going to get a lot of 2s. This is going to be a bit of a shill video. So I can't help it. This is one of these special episodes of Star Trek where I think anybody can just watch this one episode and just be like, okay, if someone says, what is Star Trek sort of at its best, it's this one. There's so many ideas. The storylines is a 2 out of 2. There are so many ideas in this and conflicting thoughts. And the conflicting thoughts are brought about through conversations with characters who are competent in their jobs and intelligent. And it is so refreshing to watch. If you watched, like, let's say you watched the last season of Doctor Who, which has just been abysmal, right? Watch that and then watch this and you will be blown away. If you're watching this and you have not seen any Enterprise, just pop this one in. It's Dear Doctor. Season 1 is probably in the middle somewhere. I don't know what episode number I'm on. You can sort of figure it out as well. I'm going to put the episode number in the video so you can see what episode number it is. Season 1, episode whatever. Just watch this one. So there's this pre-warp drive civilization. There's a disease, okay? And they ask Phlox for help. The doctor, can you help us cure this? Archer's like, okay, let's see what we can do. You come to find out there's actually 2 humanoid species on the planet. Something weird happened in the evolutionary process where 2 separate species evolved up together. So that's like us evolving with dinosaurs or something weird. You're like, okay, like now there's just dinosaur people walking around, like, right? So, but both of them came up together. And Phlox finds out that this disease is actually sort of like, it's like cellular to the point of an evolutionary disease, if you can think of that. It's almost like this species is meant to go extinct in about a couple hundred years. So it's a disease, but it's meant to make them extinct. So the dilemma is, if Phlox can cure this, should he even give the cure? Because you're then picking, because the guys that have the disease, they're not dominating against the others. They're the dominant ones in the sense of like, they're very technologically sound. They're way more advanced. And the other guys are a bit more primitive, but they're intelligent too. But the primitive people are not upset in their situation. They're like, oh, we're happy. We love these, the 2 species love each other and they love the relationship they're in. They're like, yeah, they provide us everything. They give us food and clothing. They're great. There's no war. There's not really poverty or anything like that. It's like the one species just provides. It's almost like if there's a community of dogs or something that were somehow more intelligent than dogs, and we just keep them as pets. It's almost like these guys, they're not pets like, oh, good boy, like not like that if you haven't seen the episode, but they're treated as pets. They give them food and everything. So that causes problems with some of the characters. I'll get to characters momentarily. That's the story. So there's multiple dilemmas, but dilemma 1 is, do we cure them? And then they also ask for technology. They say, can we give you the warp drive technology? And it's like, I don't know if we can. So that's the story. It's 2 out of 2. It's a bloody masterpiece. I would have to literally, I won't even tell you what happens. I would have to literally watch this with you and explain every minute why it's the best. Pacing 2 out of 2, man. This thing is like super well paced because you're just so intrigued with what's going on and all the ideas given in it. Artistry 2 out of 2. Everything looks amazing. They're on another planet, different species. That's all looks really good. You can definitely tell the difference between the 2 species that are on the planet. They did a good job of that. And everything just, is great. Characters, 2 out of 2, big time. Okay, one of the subplots is that there's a crewman. She's kind of developed some feelings to Phlox. Phlox is an alien, so him and T'Pol are alien. Everyone else is human. So Phlox is like, well, I don't. She might like me. I'm not really sure. And T'Pol's like, be careful because these humans get involved in something that's new and fresh, and then they lose interest. So just be careful that your feelings don't get hurt. But then he's talking to her, and she's like, well, the way that this race treats the other race, that's not good. And he's like, yeah, it's just different. That's the way their relationship is. Like, nobody's looking for you to interpret everything through, a human perspective. He's not being rude. Like, it's very good dialogue. He's a very nice person, the Doctor. He's one of my favorite characters. I mean, I love all the characters really, but he might be my favorite Doctor. Him and Bones are like in competition to who's gonna be my favorite Doctor. But he then says to her, he goes, I think you might have some romantic feelings towards me. And she's like, yeah, you're right. And she's like, he's like, well, I just to let you know that I'm married. I've got 3 wives and they've got 2 husbands. And it's like, oh, it's like, yeah, that's just normal behavior. And I don't want you to be, all kind of, ooh. And she's like, look, she's like, yeah, she's like, okay, I don't want to be wife number 4. Let's just be friends. We'll be close friends, and we'll see if anything happens, and we go from there. It was a very beautifully written exchange between those characters. Amazing writing on this one. I don't want. I'll give the enjoyment factor 2 out of 10. I'm giving this a 10. I'm just giving it a 10. I'm going to continue talking. This is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Okay. Going back with Archer and this whole thing, like, do we give them warp technology? If in Enterprise, the whole thing is the Vulcans have been there for 90 years helping the humans develop their technology, and Archer and his father worked on the warp drive engines, and he kind of got screwed out of taking he didn't even survive so that he doesn't see them take off with the warp engine. And there's this whole tension there with Archer never trusting the Vulcans fully because they sort of like kept information away. And then he's like, now what are you going to do? Because this primitive species is asking him for his warp technology, and he's like, well, I can't just give it to them. He goes, what if they mess something up, they can blow themselves up. They don't know how to do it, but they can't deal with atomic energy. What happens if they start going out there and some other species comes, they piss them off, and then all of a sudden there's like this war. Like, there's so many problems with just giving these people technology. And he's like, they're not ready. And then he says to T'Pol, he's like, oh my God, they're not ready. Now I understand what the Vulcans thought for us. They thought we weren't ready either. That was great. Archer is a great captain. And absolutely, again, Archer is in competition. Well, the first captain is Kirk. I'm sorry. Captain Kirk is the best. I actually like Janeway a lot. So Janeway and Archer are kind of like in competition for my second favorite. But right now it's still Janeway because I love Janeway. I know some people don't like Janeway, but I like her. What are you going to do? But Archer is a very good captain. Great character. I mean, there's so much in this episode. I can't even tell you. And the exchanges between characters, there's a lot of pushback. I mean, there's no ideologies. When you're watching a TV show, you can tell when it's an ideology because the character will make a statement that you might agree with at home or not agree with. And then when no other character in the world of that show or movie pushes back on that, then you know it's garbage writing. So for further examples, see all Disney Star Wars mostly, and mostly anything new from Doctor Who, at least in the last year or two. There's never any pushback. Like if someone says, like in Doctor Who, guns are bad. Yes, they're terrible. Yeah, guns are terrible. Oh, they kill people. Guns are the worst. Nobody should have a gun. It's terrible. Then they just move on with then the scene moves on. You're like, but guns will save you if you need, if there's a person who's trying to murder you and you have a gun and you can shoot them. Or if someone's trying to murder your kids and you shoot them and they stop you from murdering the kids, then that gun helped you. Where's the pushback? That's what I'm saying. None of it, because Archer's if you find that, I won't spoil it, I guess, if you haven't seen it, but it's Phlox is like, well, I don't know if we should cure this thing, right? And it's like, why not? You're a doctor, you have to help people. It's like, yeah, but the evolutionary process is here. And he goes, yeah, but he goes, so are you saying that, someone gets sick, you cure them of, someone gets a cut, you cure them? Well, there you go. It's like, you just interfered in the natural order of things because they got cut. Too bad. You're supposed to heal yourself. He's like, right, but I'm a scientist and evolution is just not a theory. It's a fact. And this process is happening right now. He's like, pretend I'm an alien and I went and landed on your Earth and gave Neanderthal man or dinosaurs. Maybe I went and gave dinosaurs some cure and then I made dinosaurs smart and now Earth is ruled by dinosaur people. It's not our place. And then Archer's even like, well, he goes, maybe at some point they'll come up with some sort of directives to tell us how to handle ourselves. But for now, I got to go with what I think, right? Oh, it's just so damn good. I've talked too long. I want these videos to be under 10 minutes. I'm sorry. That's it. I love this episode. It's a masterpiece. Okay, guys, if you like my space system, even though I shilled on this episode, I am trying to be fair. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. That's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Until next time.